All right. Hey, shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom. Hey, we the brothers here from Great Millstone Atlanta Church, coming back to the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Shai with another quick lesson tonight. Lord willing, we do hope and pray that it's edifying. Before we begin this lesson tonight, we want to give all praises, all glory and honor to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Chakodash. All right. Also, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule and teach well, that taught us this truth. And as always, peace, love, many blessings unto the elect of Israel, which consists of you so-called Negroes, Hispanic, Native, and Seminole Indians, and also the Israelite foreigners that are mingled amongst the other nations that are predestined for salvation. All right, we say shalom to you as well, okay? Coming back at it, late night, burning that midnight oil through the spirit. You know, we're going to go through a quick little brief synopsis of Ezekiel 38 and 39, okay? Which these topics have been visited before by multiple brothers. But you know, this is a key component in the transition that's to come, okay? Which Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, deals with Russia, the Medes, okay? Going into Gog and Magog, all right, which is that landmass of Russia, and all of its counterparts that's going to actually bring about fire upon America and Israel. All right, that's found in the book of Ezekiel, the 38th chapter. Then when you read the 39th chapter, that's the transitional phase where, you know, the earth is going to, you know, be cleansed up. All right, the kingdom of heaven is going to be established, and, you know, all these countries, they're going to be put in subjection. The scriptures speak about severing out continual employment. Okay, so we're going to just, you know, go over these scriptures just to make sure that we have these breakdowns on point, because this is a key time to speak on prophecy, right. And warn the people. So without further ado, you know, we're going to go ahead and start, you know, Ezekiel 38 at the top.
Done. Yeah, I can start.
Okay.
It's Ezekiel chapter 38 and verse 1. It says, "And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him."
Right. So it says, set thy face against Gog and Magog. Now, when you go into the scriptures, when you read the book of Genesis, the 10th chapter, these were the sons of Japheth. Okay. Now, they're identifying Gog and Magog based upon the landmass, because the current landmass of Gog and Magog is actually Russia. Now, the Edomites actually moved into those lands and pushed out the original Japhites out of those lands, and they set their kingdoms up, all right, because the original Greeks were Japhites. Okay, the original lands of Serbia and all those lands up in that that part of the world, okay, by the Caucasus Mountains, Russia, Serbia, all right, that was all Japhetic lands. All right, you had you know, Togomar, Gomer, you know, the Spaniards, Tarshish.
Yeah, Tarshish, right, yep.
Okay, you had the island of Crete, the Etruscans, and you know, Italy.
Yep.
Okay, those were all Japhetic areas. So the Bible is prophesying about the current inhabitants of the land of Japhet, which are Edomites, primarily the Russians. Okay, go ahead.
Yep, it says, verse 3, it says, "And say, thus saith the Lord power, behold, I am..."
Yeah, so like we was rudely interrupted by you know who. All right, go ahead, bro.
Yep, verse 3, it says, "And say, thus saith the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal."
Yeah, so the Lord is actually against the Russians, but he's using them to play a major role in biblical prophecy. But once the damage is done, Russia's going to fall also.
Yep.
Because it's going to be a global nuclear trade-off. Russia is not just going to be the victor, okay, and win the battle and seize the throne of the earth.
Right.
Okay, Russia's going to fall also. So the Lord said, I am against thee, O Meshach and Tubal. all right, going into those land masses which are inhabited currently by Edomites.
That's right.
Okay, go ahead, bro.
Yep. Verse 4, it says, "And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws."
Yeah, so that's going into what? The Lord reviving that ancient USSR spirit. All right, the United Soviet Socialist Republic. All right, which was comprised originally of 15 countries. All right, which Ukraine, Belarus, Russia, Kazakhstan, I believe the Czech Republic. You know, what was it Moldova? I can't remember all of them.
Yeah.
But it was you know, the ancient USSR was comprised of 15 native countries in that European area. But they fell, I believe, in the early 90s, if I'm not mistaken, 91.
Yeah, something like early 90s or late 80s maybe.
Late 80s.
Something like that. Yeah.
You know, they pretty much divided. But see, what's happening right now, you see Russia's on a military op, and they're moving through Ukraine to try to seize that territory to regain that power and that stronghold over those lands to prepare for World War III. So the Lord said he's going to put hooks back in their jaws, and that represents, if somebody put hooks in your jaws and turn you back, that means the Lord is taking you back to the direction in which you came, which is USSR. All right, go ahead, bro.
Yep, I had a quick precept. This is what you bring this up all the time. Isaiah 13 and the 17th verse. It says, "Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it." Which, you know, this is really talking about the Russians today, right? Like you said, you know, Japheth at one point inhabited those lands like Russia, right? The Medes, the ancient Medes were they were Japhetic, but this is talking about the Russians today because they inhabit that land, and you know that links right with like he's going into as far as put hooks in their jaws. That's part of them being stirred up, which I believe goes, which brothers brought it out. Stir up goes back to like to rouse up.
Yep.
Which I believe is like a root word in Russia.
Yep.
So it's like it's all
Rus.
like Rus,
Yeah,
you know,
to rouse up.
to rouse up, man. So the Lord is stirring up these Russians. Okay, it says against them. But them, you read this chapter, it's talking about Babylon the Great, which is America. All right, and it says, "We shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they should not delight in it." Meaning you can't pay them off. You know, They don't care about resources or this, that. They're going to be, you know, gridlocked, so to speak, for lack of a better word, to come against America, right?
And if you've been paying attention to anything outside of hip hop news, you know, Gunna snitching and you know
Tory
Megan Thee Stallion,
yeah.
Okay, and you know the latest rapper that died or some type of saga,
right?
Cheating scandal. If you've been looking at actual geopolitical schematics and digital transitions on global scales, you'll see that Russia is going nuclear crazy.
Oh yeah.
You know, they pretty much got Vladimir Putin pretty much got a nuclear demon on him.
Yeah.
That's all he want to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck the West up. Keep playing. I'm gonna fuck the West up. All right, you come try to bomb us. We're gonna do something that you ain't gonna be able to come back from. So this is the spirit that the Bible is talking about.
That's right. Yep, this last verse, and we can I guess jump back. Verse 18, it says, "Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eye shall not spare children." Which, you know, we know bows in the Bible is symbolic for, you know, nuclear weapons or missiles. So, you know, the young men is referring to, you know, the military personnel of America and just young men in general, because a lot of people are going to die here in America, man, by nuclear fire.
That's right.
And the Russians are not going to care about, you know, pregnant women or little baby. Oh, no, let's not fire weapons because there's women over there, there's little kids. They don't give a damn about that.
Right.
Putin, like you said, Putin got a nuclear demon on him.
Yep.
You know, you go take a shot of the finest Russian vodka, open that case and push that big ass button, man. You know, and end this mother effer, man.
That's right.
It's according to biblical prophecy. All right, so yeah, it's all the will of the Most High. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It goes into more, but that was the point. So you want to go back to Ezekiel 38?
Verse 4.
Yeah, Ezekiel 38 and 4. It says, "Now I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, in all thine army.
Yep, the Lord is going to bring every form and facet and division of the Russian military against Babylon and its compadres. So the Marines, the Navy, the Russian Air Force, the Russian Space Force if they have one, the Russian Army, and all their special ops is going to come forth. Okay, no branch going to be left behind. The Lord said He's going to bring thee bring thee forth and all thine armies, horses and horsemen, meaning the rider and the ride. All right, all your military vehicles, and MRAP vehicles they got, and the fighter jets that they got. The Lord's gonna flood the battlefield.
Oh, yeah, right.
He bringing everything out the garage. Okay, go ahead, bro.
It says all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company.
Notice it said all sorts, meaning varieties of armor. Okay, there's gonna be all kinds of things that the Lord is gonna pull. These different military tactics and different devices that they never used in war. Things that exclusive war weapons that's not even made known or privy to the public.
Yeah.
The Lord's gonna bring it all out. It said all sorts of it. Okay, go ahead, bro.
It says even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords.
Yeah, because once World War III sparks, Russian allies are going to get up in there with them.
Oh yeah.
India, China, North Korea, okay, Venezuela, Brazil, BRICS. You know, all those countries. Hey, even those USSR countries, Ukraine, Belarus, Czech Republic. You know, all the countries that's been slighted by America is gonna get up in there with them.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, even countries like Ethiopia, which is gonna say that in the next verse. Go ahead.
Yep. Verse 5. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them.
Yep.
All of them with shield and helmet.
Yeah, so they're going to come up against the land of America. The Lord's going to bring forth this great army. Okay?
That's right.
Go ahead, bro.
It says, Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters.
Yeah, so like I said earlier in the lesson, when you read this, it sounds as if it's talking about Japhetic nations. So when these Edomite Christians break this down, they break it down as if these are Japhetic nations that's going to be taking place, these major biblical prophecies, when all actuality it's referring to Edomites that's inhabiting these places.
Right.
Okay? Because Satan, the dragon, okay, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. That was the earth wasn't given to the seed of Japheth.
Right.
The earth was given to the seed of Esau. The scripture says in 2nd Ezra 6:9, for Esau is the end of the world. Don't say Japheth is the end of the world.
That's right.
It says Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning that followeth, meaning that Esau would bring about an end to a particular world or age, and Jacob would precede the rulership thereafter. So when we're reading in Ezekiel 38 about the prophecy of Gog and Magog, it's actually referring to the inhabitants of those lands, because you got to remember they were pushed out of those lands.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
Go ahead, bro.
And so he also has the superpower, like he just mentioned. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. It made sense. So that's a cut to the Christianity doctrine, going back to Japheth them causing this world order. It's talking about Esau, because he's the one with all the power, and he stays in that location. Like
Yep, that's right.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
I'll pick up reading from there.
Okay.
You know, y'all both can get in there and break it down. All right. It says, the north quarters and all his bands and many people with thee. Be thou prepared for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them.
Yeah, we're speaking about the Russians being a guard. Russians is like a big brother, figure to these other nations. They supply them with their weaponry. I think was it the S-400, a missile system. These other nations who are weaker, Russia supplies them with weapons, man.
Yep.
He's like a protector. You mess with these lands or these particular places, that's when Russia steps in. So they all follow Russia. And Russia's like the leader of the pack, so to speak. You know, he's like a guard, as the scripture says. Go ahead.
All right, it says, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou guard unto them. After many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter year thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword. All right.
Which
and,
is
this is the transitional part right here, because when you see those two lines, it pretty much is just transitioning into a new part of prophecy.
Yeah.
So you won't see the number of the verse, and then you might see two lines. Okay, that represents a transitional phase. So it says, after many days thou shalt be visited, in the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste. But it is brought forth out of the nations that they shall dwell safely, all of them. Okay?
Which is that. That's it. Well, it just said it. You know, the mountains of Israel. That's the land of Israel. All right, which is going to be the capital of the kingdom of heaven. That's why it says that and that they shall all dwell safely, all of them. That's speaking in a more future tense. You know, because the Israelites, you know, we're not in that land right now. But in times to come, which really it goes into that in the 39th chapter of what's going to transpire after World War III, after America is destroyed, after Russia is destroyed. You know, how we're going to have essentially a burial ground. You know, east of Israel. All right. After that, that's when we're going to dwell safely in peace, and the nations are not going to rise up against us anymore, man. You know.
It says, verse 9, thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land. Thou and all thy bands and many people with thee. Thus saith the Lord power, it shall also come to pass that at the same time shall things come into my mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. And that evil thought goes into that taunting proverb that the scriptures speak about the mind of the king is in the Lord's hand, and he turneth it whatsoever it goeth.
That's the one.
Okay, so the Lord is putting evil thoughts into the minds of the Russians. Okay, they going nuclear slap crazy.
That's right.
You know, I mean, every time they dream about nuclear power. Okay, they dream about destroying the West, because the Lord is putting that evil thought in their mind.
That's right.
Through left hand forces. Okay, because they carrying out the will of Yahweh Bashim Awashah on the left hand side. Okay, the Lord created all things, but the Lord he more so focuses on righteousness in the right hand side, because that's where his name is attached. The Lord's name is not attached to the left hand side, but he actually authorizes and gives them the orders to complete on the left hand side, so that everything can abide within his will. Okay, it says verse 11, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of the unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates.
Which that's twofold. It has a dual meaning, land of Israel, but also here in America. Right, America is like into a land with unwalled villages. You know, a land that hasn't been touched. That's why it's known as the virgin daughter of Babylon. You know, because number one, it follows the customs of ancient Babylon of old. You know, worship has that same spirit, but it's a virgin because it hasn't been touched, it hasn't been really invaded by another nation. You know,
it says to take a spoil and to take prey, to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods and dwell in the midst of the land.
That's right.
That's talking about America. Okay, the desolate places that are now inhabited, because at one particular point in time, America, nobody was dwelling over here.
Right.
Okay, it was called Arsarith in the Bible. Okay, but now it's inhabited. Okay,
that's right.
The Lord is going to actually bring this particular land, this little horn that was spoken about in the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter. The little horn that came out of the three. All right, and America, that horn came out of what? The horn of Great Britain.
Yeah, Britain, yeah.
Okay, because you had France, Spain, Great Britain. And you had another little horn that came out of one of the horns, and that was America that came out of Great Britain. That's why it tells you in Isaiah, the 51st chapter, it says, "The mother that bare thee shall be ashamed." Okay, so who brought forth the fruit of America? It was GB. You know, it was GB. All right, it says, to take a spoil and to take prey, to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are gathered out of the nations. Yeah, because it tells you in what? Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, she heapeth unto herself all people. Yep. It says, which have gotten cattle and goods and dwell in the midst of the land. Sheba and Dedan and the merchants of Tarshish, with all the young lions thereof, shall say unto thee, art thou come to take a spoil? Hast thou gathered the company to take a prey? To carry away silver and gold, to take away cattle and goods, to take away spoil? Yeah, because when Russia dropped their missiles on America, it's going to mess up all these merchant cities. That goes into what? Revelation 18 chapter. Yep.
All the nations, they're gonna weep. You see Babylon's burning. Essentially, they can't make no more money. They out of business. You know, America's a place where people like to buy and so once that's destroyed, it's like basically your cash cows going basically, man.
Yep.
You know,
Yep. So yeah, I mean, we could keep going, but we're gonna go ahead and kind of transit.
Yeah.
What we want to do is we want to show you how prophecy is going to develop into the transition of the kingdom of heaven.
Oh yeah.
Okay, before we can even transition physically into the kingdom of heaven, the destruction has to come, because the elect will have to be delivered from that destruction, and the deliverance is really the physical part of the beginning of the kingdom of heaven. See, right now this is a spiritual transition. That's why when the scripture says, "What come out of her, my people, and be not partakers of her sin. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver your own souls." So this is a spiritual transition that we're a part of, but we're still physically here.
Right.
When Yahweh Shai comes back, when those missiles launch, that's going to be the beginning of the physical transition into the kingdom of heaven. And that picture is being painted in Ezekiel, the 38th and the 39th chapter.
That's right.
So we just wanted to lay out how it's going to come about and show you how once the transition happens, okay, then we'll show you what's going to proceed and take place on the earth after post-destruction. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to get a quick scripture real quick in the book of Thessalonians. All right. So bear with me 1 second as I get it. Well, if somebody can get it, 1 Thessalonians 4.
Oh,
Bibles.
Oh yeah. Big boy.
Start at the top.
4 and 16. And
1 Thessalonians.
You can get 1 Corinthians 15.
Chapter 4, verse 16.
Yep.
For the Lord himself should descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of Yahweh. Yeah,
so you can read this in the book of Revelation. All right, it tell you that the Lord is going to come back with a great shout. Also in the book of Revelation, saying what? Come up hither, my people, be not partakers of her sins. Okay, so that's also lining up with 1 Thessalonians, because the Lord's going to come back and descend. So that means that he's coming from an aerial position. All right, go ahead, bro.
And with the trump of Yahweh, and the dead and Hamashiach shall rise first.
Yeah, the seventh trumpet, man. The seventh trumpet represents the destruction. And it says what? The dead of Yahweh shall rise first, meaning those that died in the faith, or those that are a part of the elect that's in the spirit world, that died in the flesh. The Lord's going to resurrect them so that they can be delivered in the chariots first. Okay? They're going to be the first ones on the chariot.
Yeah.
All right? So this is the part of the physical transition into the kingdom of heaven. These are they that have put off the mortal and put on the immortal, so that they can be joined unto Yahweh Shai. That's what we're reading about right here. All right, go ahead, bro.
Verse 17. Then we which are alive and remain should be caught up together with them in the clouds.
Yep. So those of us that's not going to taste of death, all right, that's still here in the flesh, enduring and suffering those sad things, we're going to be joined unto them in the clouds. Okay? So this is the beginning of the physical transition. Until then, like me and the elder Kabash, we were just talking off camera. Until then, we always gonna be battling the flesh.
Yeah.
Okay, because we haven't physically transitioned into the kingdom yet.
Right.
Spiritually, we're transitioning. That's why we have to what? We have to mortify our members and put the flesh under us. And our members constantly war against each other, and we go through, mortal battles, and because we haven't physically entered into the kingdom. But once we physically enter into the kingdom of heaven, all of those thoughts are going to flee.
That's right.
Okay, because we're going to be transformed into righteousness, man. And this is just the process of doing it, which is why we wanted to show you these transitional phases in the Bible. Okay, go ahead, bro.
To meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord.
Yep. So now we're going to go into Ezekiel 38, but before we do, we're going to get 1 Corinthians 15 about the twinkling of an eye.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Like 50 from 58, 50, or 56, 52.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. First Corinthians 15, and I started at 50. I started at 51.
You can bring it down to it. I'm about to get something.
Okay. It says, "Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed." We should not all sleep. Sleep goes to so-called dying or passing away. Not every member of the elect is going to die, man. Like Yahushua said, there was some standing here that shall not taste of death. Which he's talking about in this time, because all the disciples back then, they evidently they died back then. They're still living, 1,000 something years old, over 2,000. No, they passed away back then. Mm-hmm. So he's prophesying about this time, and us all being changed since he's going to, having new bodies. All right, which is going to usher in the new covenant, because the Lord is going to write the laws in our inward parts. But like he said, you're going back to the flesh, which is not possible in this flesh. We're going to have a new, whole new, vessel.
Yeah.
To be able to contain the law, statutes, commandments in its entirety and be perfect. All right, so that's the mystery that Apostle Paul is writing about. All right, verse 52, it says, "In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump."
Yeah, so that's what we just read in 1 Corinthians, the 1 Thessalonians, the 4th chapter. Mm-hmm. All right, the last trump, the seventh trump, the great shout. Mm-hmm. All right, they're going to ascend into the chariots. That's the same thing. Okay, mm-hmm. In the twinkling of an eye, you're going to be changed, because the mortal flesh cannot go into those spiritual chambers.
Right.
Okay, it can't go into those spiritual chambers, man, because the flesh is not equipped to handle that form of power. Right. So you have to be trained. You have to be changed, and that's going to be the physical transition into the kingdom of heaven. Mm-hmm. And then once that happens, there's going to be another dissension. Mm. So it's going to be a dissension, an ascension, and then another descension. Mm-hmm. All right, so the Lord is going to come down, the elect is going to go back up, then the elect is going to come back down. Mm-hmm. Once the elect comes back down, there's going to be things that's going to happen on the earth, according to Bible prophecy, that's going to establish the kingdom of heaven. Because now the transition has already taken place. Yeah. Once the transition takes place, now it's time to what? Establish.
New world.
That's what America, that's what these Edomites did. Yep. All right? They rose into power. They transitioned from one side of the world to another. Once they transitioned, they established. Mm-hmm. All right, well, that's what's coming in the kingdom of heaven. Mm-hmm. Okay? So I got a quick precept. That was it, right?
Yeah, I finished the verse off.
Okay,
it says, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. Yep, that's the main point.
Yep. So I got a quick one for you, real quick. Revelation 21 at the top, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is the new heaven and new earth is essentially speaking of a new rulership is being established. It's not literally like it's going to be a new planet Earth, you know, or like a new sky, a new heaven. Like no, it's referring to a new authority. You know, a new authority, a new, you know, system, for lack of a better word, being established in righteousness, man.
Yep.
You know.
Verse 2. And I John saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from the Most High out of heaven.
Which is talking about the Israelites, the elect, right? 144,000 and the 1/3 that was delivered from the destruction, you know, in America and all throughout the four corners of the earth. All right, that's the holy city, you know, as a metaphor coming down, man. You know, from those you know, ships or chariots.
Yep, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband.
Yep. Wearing all white, like a bride prepared. The husband's talking about Yahweh Shai. You know, joined. Marriage needs to be joined. We're gonna be joined back to Yahweh Shai. You know, really joined back to the Father through Yahweh Shai. Mm-hmm. You know, the nation of Israel's spiritual husband.
Yep.
Go ahead.
And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, "Behold, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men, and He will dwell with them, and they shall be His people, and the Most High Himself shall be with them and be their power."
Wow, see that? all in harmony, all one again. Most High at one time has faced, you know, turn away from us, you know, because of our wickedness, but through Yahweh Shai's sacrifice and prophecies and us, you know, putting on the immortal clothing, now we're you know, we're made clean now. Now we're all brought back together. Mm-hmm. Yahweh Shai, the Heavenly Father, really starts with the elect. That's why it says the tabernacle is with men. Right, the 144,000, the governing, that's only men. Then you got the 1/3 and the large, of course, women is included in that, but the governing body, the tabernacle, right, the house of David, so to speak, that's dealing with the men.
That's right. So now that we've established how things are going to go about, there's going to be a nation, Gog and Magog, that's going to rise up. The Lord says He's going to put hooks in their jaws, and they're going to, you know, pretty much bring destruction on the land of the unwalled villages. Then the Lord said, what? In the seventh trump, He's going to come back, and the righteous is going to descend into the chariots, right? We established that. And then afterwards, once they ascend into the heavens, they're going to what? They're going to descend. That's why we just read that in Revelation 21. New Jerusalem coming down out of heaven.
Right, yeah.
All right. So now when they come down out of heaven, what happens? Now we're not going to go through the whole chapter of Ezekiel 39.
Right.
But we're going to hit some key points in here so you can understand the beginning stages in the process of establishing the kingdom of heaven. As a matter of fact, before I get Ezekiel 39, can you get Revelation the 20th chapter real quick? About the you know what I want. The first resurrection. Live with the Lord for 1,000 years.
Oh, verse 4.
Verse 4.
Whoever got it.
Okay. This is Revelation chapter 20, verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai.
Yeah, because they're going to be souls, men and women, that may be martyrs for the name of Yahweh Bashim Shai, which the word martyr just means witness. And which really we're martyrs right now, because we're spiritually dying. The scriptures say we die all the day long.
Right.
All right. We die every day. All right. So, but they're actually going to be physical martyrs that's going to lose their lives in the coming times. Okay, go ahead, bro.
And it says, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads,
go ahead,
or in their hands. And that's in the midst of the World War III that the brothers was talking about too. They're going to have this new world order established when they go to war.
That's right.
And it says, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Hamashiach Yahweh Shai 1,000 years. Right.
So that 1,000 years, scripture says 1,000 years is as a day to the Lord, and the day to the Lord is as 1,000 years. So that 1,000 year period is going to be what's called the first resurrection or the first dominion, in which order is going to be established in the earth. Okay? Under the government of Yahweh Shema Shai and King David.
That's right.
That's why it tells you in Isaiah the 9th chapter, it says the government shall be on his shoulders. Yep. So
Right.
so they're gonna be giving out all types of instructions and orders to the elect, the 144,000, to carry out post destruction. Okay.
Yeah. That's it.
Now from there, I'm going to Ezekiel, but I'm gonna jump down.
Okay.
It says I'm sorry, I'm trying to find exactly where I want to start at. I will start at verse 8. Ezekiel 39:8. Behold, it is come, and it is done, saith the Lord power. This is the day whereof I have spoken.
Right.
And they that dwell in the cities of Israel shall go forth, and shall set on fire, and burn the weapons, both the shields and bucklers, the bows and the arrows, and the handstaves and the spears, and they shall burn them with fire 7 years.
Right. This is the aftermath, like Brother Tazwan said. This is post World War III, after America destroyed, and as well as the Russians. Because remember, this is a prophecy against the Russians. Even though they're included, he's telling them what they're going to do. Put the hooks in your jaws, and you're going to come down with your armies. But really, this is a prophecy against them. All right. When you read up, there's going to be a burial ground for the Russians, the Edomites, and their troops. For trying to invade the land and, try to take the land over, destroy,
Yep.
The Lord's going to bring them down. And after that, all right, the first duties, all right, because the nation of Israel, all right, and the kingdom, we're promised to have servants and slaves, man, which the heathens, start with Esau and the other nations, and really the top elites, all right, and all the weapons that was left behind, they're all going to be destroyed.
Yep, all military bases.
All the military base, right.
All these different fighter jets, these different aircraft carriers in the sea. All of that stuff is going to be destroyed.
That's right.
The idols.
Yep.
They tell you that in here too.
Yep.
I'm going to read it. It says, verse 10, so that they shall take no wood out of the field, neither cut down any out of the forest, but they shall burn the weapons with fire, and they shall spoil those that spoil them. So how you gonna start a fire without wood and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Because the men of the Lord gonna have spiritual power.
Yep.
Okay. And all the like the elder saying, all the military vehicles, okay, everything like it just said. The weapons and the shields, bucklers, bow, arrows, handstand, all these military DARPA dogs, these different robots. All these different labs that they using, these underground secret labs where they got all these different diseases, these biological warfare. Everything is going to be burned up.
That's right.
All right. It says, for they shall burn the weapons with fire, and they shall spoil those that spoil them, and rob those that rob them.
Yep.
Saith the Lord power.
Yeah, because Esau, the elites, they got all the riches and gold and silver and different resources stashed away in their bunkers and the different safes and things of that nature. All of that's which go into that in Job, how the wicked store the riches, but the just shall put it on. Roughly paraphrasing. They're holding on to these things because eventually, the Israelites going to get it back. Because they stole it from us. All right.
Verse 11, and it shall come to pass in that day that I will give unto God a place there of graves in Israel.
There you go. Yep.
The valley of the passengers on the east of the sea.
Right.
And it shall stop the noses of the passengers, and there shall they bury God and all his multitudes, and they shall call it the valley of Haman God.
That's right. Yeah. So you got it.
So man, it's gonna be a big fucking cemetery in the land of Russia, man.
Yeah.
Okay, it's telling you that right there. It's gonna be graves. Okay, so all the dead bodies that's gonna be in the earth post destruction is gonna have to go into the earth.
Yeah.
But we ain't gonna have them graveyards in the Holy Land.
Right.
Okay, so it says what? It's gonna go to the land of God. All right. It says, verse 12.
But that's say the east of
You see?
That's really east. That's east of Israel. So Israel, it said the east of the sea. That's the Dead Sea.
Okay, come on.
Yeah. So east of Israel, which that's actually gonna clean the land, really. When they bury these bodies, that's gonna actually purify the land.
Yeah,
fertilize it.
Yep.
What it say? Is a precept of Numbers. Brothers know it. It say, was it the land can't be cleansed except by the blood of him that
Cleansed it. Yeah.
They still they Russians. They still all Edomites. Edomites, defiled that land and killed. Going back to 70 A.D. It's like a whole history behind that. So the east of Israel, I think that's, looking at the map, I think that's Jordan. But that whole area, that's gonna be like a barrier.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It says, and they shall call it the valley of Haman God.
Mm-hmm.
In 7 months shall the house of Israel be burying of them, that they may cleanse the land.
That's it. Cleanse the land. Yep. It's at 7 months, which 7 represents a time of completion. So it may not take an actual 7 months. It could be 2 months, or however long it take,
Yep, verse 13.
Yep.
Yea, all the people of the land shall bury them, and shall be to them a renown the day that I shall be glorified, saith the Lord. And they shall sever out men of continual employment, passing through the land to bury with the passengers those that remain upon the face of the earth.
That's right.
To cleanse it after the end of the 7 months shall they search.
Yep. So to continue, so as it words it, it says the people, the Israelites, shall bury the bodies and cleanse the land. But really, we're going to cleanse it through the labor of actual slaves and servants. That's why I said that they shall sever out to men of continual employment, man. So it's not going to be no small amount of work. There's going to be a lot of labor that needs to be done. Who do you think gonna do it? These other nations, these heathens, man. Start with the elites.
Yeah, because we're gonna get them out the cliffs of the rocks.
Right, get them out the cliffs of the rocks. Right, yep. You eat them with the elite bankers. Whether a lot of these niggas is 90, 100 years old as hell. All types of surgeries and heart trans. You're gonna have to bury these bodies, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then you read on, it says one gonna put the markers by the bodies.
Yep.
All throughout that Middle East area, that gotta get cleansed, man. I think even with that, I think certain parts of that land is like barren, can't grow nothing. So
there be paradise.
It's probably paradise. That all that it says a sacrifice when you read down. All them dead corpses is going to like refertilize the land. So
Yep.
So the Lord, deals with a cycle, man.
Still a cycle. Yep. I'll read it for you, bro.
Yeah.
Verse 13. Yea, all the people of the land shall bury them, and it shall be to them a renown the day that I shall be glorified, saith the Lord power.
That's right.
And they shall sever out men of continual employment, passing through the land to bury with the passengers those that remain upon the face of the earth, to cleanse it. After the end of the 7 months shall they search. Yeah, after that. So basically, like what the elder was saying, 7 months represents a period of time of completion.
Right.
But even after that 7 month or that time of completion, they still gonna be searching. Okay? It says they shall search. At the end of the 7 months they shall search. And the passengers that pass through the land, when any seeth a man's bone, then shall he set up a sign by it to the buriers have buried it in the valley of Haman God. So do we know that the Lord is going to leave a trail of blood, a trail of dead bodies?
Yeah.
That's Jeremiah 16th chapter. Okay, well it said they shall die grievous deaths, they shall not be lamented, neither buried.
Yep.
All right, but they shall be cast out like dung in the streets.
That's right.
All right.
Sacrifice of Basra.
Yes, sacrificing Basra. So everybody's not going to get the proper burial ceremony. So what's going to happen is, after the dissension, under the first resurrection of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, men are going to be appointed to, and that's going to be like one of the first tasks of slavery, is to cleanse the earth of all the dead bodies.
Yeah, that's right.
So that the earth can replenish and grow back into its proper nature.
That's right.
All right?
That's it.
You're going to push up daisies.
That's right.
All right, it says, Then shall he set up a sign by it till the buriers have buried it in the valley of Haman God. And also the name of the city shall be Hamona. Thus shall they cleanse the land.
Right. I believe that word Hamona, I think it means multitudes. Like it's gonna be like a burial to commemorate the basically the downfall of it says Gog and his band, so to speak. All the military personnel that there's alliance with Russia. It's gonna be like a land, almost like a mini America, so to speak. But except that land's so like the same thing, right? Like a burial ground, which again is gonna actually cleanse and purify that region.
Yep, that was pretty much.
Gone. Okay.
I don't know if you had.
Nope. I was in Ezekiel 39 too. That's it. Yes, sir.
This is Isaiah chapter 43, verse 5. Fear not, for I am with thee. I will bring thy seed from the east and gather thee from the west. I will say to the north, give up, and to the south, keep not back. Bring my sons from far and my daughters from the ends of the earth. So in the midst of all this chaos, in the midst of World War III, we're going to be delivered out of this, and we're going to come down from the chariots out of heaven, and we're going to set up order in the earth. That's why that continuing employment, we're going to have these other heathen nations to do. This is the light at the end of the tunnel. Because right now, Israel is in darkness, but the Lord said, like he said, like it's read in Micah chapter 7, I will suffer the indignation of the Lord. I will sit in darkness till he plead my cause. That's the Lord doing that right now. And then at the end, we're going to see our results.
Yeah, that's the payback, man. Because Esau did it to us, which brothers keep referencing this movie, the new Will Smith movie. All right, so this brothers watch that. They had Jake in there, basically, building a railroad system. Of course they, showed Jake picking cotton, but they had Jake building the railroads, and there was like some harsh ass taskmasters, man. You stop it, they damn near like shoot you on the spot. So when the elect get in power, we get, Lord willing, we are that number. Man, we gonna be hard on you, mother effers, man. And you got to do it. You got to clean the land, clean the earth. That's just one of the tasks. Right. That's gonna be the first task.
Yeah.
Then you got to build it up.
I got another one. Real quick.
Yep.
Micah chapter 5 verse 10. And the heading of this particular segment is idols and weapons destroyed.
Oh.
Yeah. So it says, and it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that I will cut off thy horses out of the midst of thee, and I will destroy thy chariots. I will cut off the cities of thy land and throw down all thy strongholds. I will cut off witchcrafts out of thine hand, and thou shalt have no more soothsayers. Thy graven images also will I cut off, and thy standing images out of the midst of thee. And thou shalt no more worship the work of thine hands, and I will pluck up thy groves out of the midst of thee. So will I destroy thy cities, and I will execute vengeance in anger and fury upon the heathen, such as they have not heard. So the Lord is going to throw it down. The Lord is going to, if there's any city in the world that remain after the missiles, the Lord is going to physically throw it down. Once the elect descends. All right, there's going to be a journey throughout the earth.
Oh yeah.
Every crack and crevice will be visited.
Yeah, that's right.
To make sure ain't no idols, ain't no nothing. So any lands out here where there's actually still cities left, okay, on the earth, the Lord is going to send his men out there to scope and scour the premises. And if there's any idols or anything like that, the cities is going to simply just be flattened. It's going to be a demolition.
It's like the time of Joshua all over again.
Yep.
We went got the promised land.
And Joshua, Yahushua.
Oh man, that's beautiful, man. And we picked out inheritance too. We got our lands back. So like you said, we just gonna comb throughout the earth and see what's unclean, and then we just gonna straighten it out.
Yep, straighten it out under the government of Yahushua. So that's the process of transition and prophecies, man. Okay? So, I mean, your brother got anything else?
No.
All right, so hey, you close it out.
God, hey, man, so with that, Lord willing, you was edified through the Spirit. All right, we're going to sign off, giving all praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, HaKadosh.
All right, the bonus to the apostles, elders, the great millstone. Shalom to the elect. And Lord willing, to the next lesson, we're going to say shalom.
Shalom.